Here is a rather uncommon window VN. This is a Sears branded product. The actual OEM is, I guess it's Lakewood. Here's the informations. It is the model number 691-900801. 1 amp, so they're 0.5 amp shaded pole motors. And then there's some writing in raised plastic, which I can't read through the camera. That writing says model T as in telephone -99, 120 volts, 1.6 amps. So there's a discrepancy from the sticker right there and the raised writing there. I tend to think that 1.6 amps might be more accurate. These were sold under a plethora of different brands, as is fairly common for Lakewood. Lakewood definitely OEM'd a lot of different store brand box fans in particular. These use the same blades that are on the Lasko Galaxy 9-inch fans, and I think it's a very good blade. It's very quiet and moves a lot of air. Just has basic shaded pole C-frame motors. Does it say what the brand is on them? No, I don't see. I don't see a branding on them. The side curtains are metal, and I don't know how on earth you're supposed to pull them out. Maybe they're not supposed to push in all this way, I don't know. The handle feels like something that should break immediately, so I don't think that I'm going to use the handle too much. So this was given to me by the letter H, and it looks extremely clean. I would imagine that he either cleaned and serviced it, or it was never used. I bet he cleaned and serviced it. He does very good work. There's some junk on the bottom there, but even I wouldn't worry about that, because cleaning these guards is such a pain in the neck. Well, we'll be able to tell in just a few minutes when we turn this on if it was in fact cleaned and serviced or not. I hope that it was, because then I can just throw it in the window and use it. I have not gotten to use I have not used the other one that I have yet, because I just haven't gotten around to the cleaning and servicing. I'm going to see if we can prop this up for the video. Sometimes just a couple screwdrivers will do it. Yeah, that's pretty good. I really don't remember how this performed. I'm pretty sure it was very quiet. I would expect it to be given these blades. Well, let's see what the actual power consumption is. Right now we are testing with 119.9 volts, so this amp draw reading should be very accurate. Start up on low. It doesn't seem like it's running too good. The bearings sound very dry and there's some rattling. Oh wow, this is horribly out of balance. Not good. We're going to have to balance it out. So it is quiet. It's got a weird noise to it. I think that's the bearings. I wouldn't be surprised if the bearings are bad, given how out of balance this is. We'll have to balance it one blade at a time. I don't know if they're both out of balance or only one is out of balance. The balance situation gets even more complicated because now we have two blades interacting with each other at probably not exactly the same speed. That rattling is just it's so bad it's actually bouncing up and down off the table. Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't even use it like that until it's balanced. That's just going to ruin the bearings. Alright, so that is 0.64 the amps. 64.0 watts, and 0.82 the power factor, which is actually extremely high for shaded pole motors. That's like as high as it really ever gets. Usually with shaded pole, even high 70s is considered pretty reasonable. So aside from the balance, it's pushing out a very gentle breeze, but this is a larger unit. I think these are 8-inch blades. Yeah, probably about that, maybe 8.5. And so the surface area where the air is being moved is bigger. So even though it's not pushing with a lot of force, the CFM, the volume, might actually be pretty decent. And I can feel it a good 5 or 6 feet back. It's not super strong, but it's definitely there. And if it wasn't doing all that rattling, it would indeed be quite quiet. Certainly quieter than those Holmes 2021s. Oof, those are awful in terms of noise. This is very quiet. The high. I can feel it going in and out of balance. So this might be very tricky to balance because it could be that both blades are just ever so slightly off, and with each other going, then they kind of cause issues together. And the balance is terrible. But that's actually going pretty fast. It's throwing some air now. And it's surprisingly not using much power at all. It's only 0.8 amps, 78.4 the watts, with a power factor 0.8 the power factor. So both data sheets are wrong. Gosh, the balance is unbelievably bad here. But the performance is pretty good. Let's throw in some pretty good air. Oh man, that is abysmal. We are done testing the airflow. I can feel a lot of air being drawn into this. I think this moves quite a bit of air. Across the room. Yeah, I can actually feel a decent amount of air being pushed. And it's a very wide stream. I don't think that this guard is super aerodynamic, but I really do like these blades. I think this blade set is very good. And this will be a very good fan too once we get rid of all that rattling. Those poor bearings. It actually I didn't really hear a lot of bearing rattle. I just heard it rattling on the table. Bearings seem a little dry. This hub is totally screwed up. That might be our problem. See how it's not centered on the shaft? How's the clock? Yeah, it is. It's totally out of whack. So this is probably the issue. It's not focusing exactly where I want it to, but you can see one of the blades is longer than the others. Even like just a 16th or 32nd of an inch will cause a big issue on a high-speed fan like this. So I think our balance culprit, actually, you know what? They're both like that. The left one is way, way worse. But the right one is not perfect either. Spin it up a little bit here so you can see it. Yeah, the right one's not as bad. The left one is horrific. Hopefully we can just put some hot glue inside the center of the blades to balance them out, because you can't really fix that. I mean, that's always going to be the way it is. All we can do is add weights to compensate for the off-centered hub, but that's a very time-consuming process because it's pretty much just a guess and check. So that will definitely be a project for another day.